Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're reading from Canto 5, Chapter 14, The Forest of Enjoyment, text 39. Yad idam yoganushasanam na va etad avarundhate yanyastadanda munaya upashama shila uparatatmanah samavagachanti. Translation. Saintly persons who are friends to all living entities have a peaceful consciousness. They have controlled their senses and minds, and they easily attain the path of liberation, the path back to Godhead. Being unfortunate and attached to miserable material conditions, a materialistic person cannot associate with them. So Shukadeva Goswami has described the miserable condition of living entities in this material world, and now finally he is coming to conclusion. What is the conclusion? So he's trying to give the conclusion. Qualities of a sadhu are described very beautifully. It is said, Titikshava karunika suhrudam sarvadehina majat shatrava shanta sadhava sadhu bhushanaha. Sadhus wear a lot of ornaments and therefore they look very beautiful. And these ornaments cannot be seen on their body, but it can be seen in their acharant, in their behavior. Titikshava, very tolerant. In my offering to Srila Prabhupada, I was meditating on this quality also. Titikshava, tolerant. Prabhupada's tolerance level is next level. So he can tolerate anything and everything. Only thing that he cannot tolerate is when Siddhanta is broken. When Upper Siddhanta comes into picture, he cannot tolerate that. Otherwise, he is ready to tolerate anything and everything. When the temple was built, when these various ISKCON temples were built in the West, and for Mangalarti, everyone would get up in the morning. Prabhupada would also get up. The devotees are standing in line. Disciples of Prabhupada are standing in line for bathroom, and Prabhupada is also standing in the line for bathroom. Now, it's not that devotees are allowing Prabhupada to go and use the bathroom. Prabhupada just tolerate. Prabhupada's clothes are stolen. Next day he finds that in Bhagavatam class people are wearing his clothes and sitting. He just tolerates. Prabhupada is asking, get fruits for performing the yajna. And devotees get fruit salad for him. And Prabhupada tolerates. In this way, Prabhupada, he shows this quality of tolerance. This is how sadhus are. Titikshava. Karunika, very, very compassionate. If in ISKCON, when ISKCON was established, when people were hippies, and when they turned to happies or devotees, the only reason, if we trace what was the reason, the only reason is Prabhupada's compassion. It's only because Prabhupada's compassion, Prabhupada endeavored to help these hippies to become devotees. Without compassion of a sadhu, one cannot become a devotee. Not possible. Karunika. Suhurdam sarvadehina. He is a friend of all. He is a friend of all, not just human beings. He is friend of all the living entities. I think Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, this was in Navadvip, and some dogs came inside his bhajan kutir, and when he was having prasad, so the dogs were trying to eat that or something like that. So the servants, they shooed the dog away. And Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj said, no, get those dogs back. And Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was feeding them. Similarly with Srila Prabhupada. Many of the occasions Prabhupada has fed animals also in various ways. You see, not just human beings. I'm not giving example of human beings. We know so many examples of Srila Prabhupada and other acharyas. But even for animals and birds, these acharyas have got so much of, love and affection or friendship that no, even these people should be delivered. These entities should also be delivered. Surudam sarvadehinam ajata shatrava. There is no question of shatru, there is no question of enemy. If someone offends the sadhu to an extent of killing the sadhu, and still if the person comes back and pays obeisance to the sadhu, what will sadhu say? I don't want to see your face, get lost. Sadhu will say, no problem. Hare Krishna, I'll give you shelter. This is the mood of a sadhu. So there is one personality in Bangalore also who offended his spiritual master so badly. Multiple times he pulled his spiritual master to the court. So it was asked to the spiritual master, why is it that you're not giving up on this person? And the spiritual master said that if the guru gives up onto the disciple, he gives up the disciple, what is the hope for a disciple? So you can just imagine. He was still having that mood that no, he is my disciple. He didn't consider him as an enemy. Ajata Shatrava, Shant, peaceful. Always peaceful. Therefore, the mood of a sadhu is so peaceful, so blissful, that the sadhu becomes a magnetic personality. Naturally, people around will get attracted to the sadhu. Naturally. Just by looking at the sadhu, they feel very nice. Bas aapke darshan ho gaye. They want to take darshan of a sadhu. Why? Just by looking at that sadhu, naturally the person feels very blissful. Why? Because sadhu himself is blissful. He is shanta. Why he is shanta? Because he has Krishna in his heart. Lord Narayan is telling this to Durvasa. Sadhuvo hridayam mayam sadhunam hridayantvaham mad anyattena jananti naham tebhyo managapi. Lord Narayan is telling Durvasa Muni that, oh Durvasa, I am there in the hearts of my devotees, sadhus, and sadhus are there in my hearts. They don't know anything apart from me and I don't know anything apart from them. This is a tight relation of a sadhu and the Lord. So in the heart of the sadhu, there's always residing a great personality, the goal of everyone's life, and that is Krishna. Krishna resides in the heart of the sadhu. Tumhara hriday Govinda Vishram. So Krishna, if he wants to rest after doing various pastimes, for him the resting place is sadhu's heart. Therefore we say, Krishna se tomar, Krishna de te paro, tumhara shakti ache. So since sadhu has Krishna, he can give Krishna. So since he has Krishna, he is always peaceful, happy, blissful. These are the qualities of a sadhu. And these personalities are the ones who are making their way back home, back to Godhead. So these are all sadhus. Now what about the materialist? There's a huge contrast. Sadhus are attached to Krishna and the materialists are attached to doing sense gratification. Materialists are stubborn to do sense gratification. Now they try their best to do sense gratification and a lot of miseries come. But their stubbornness is so high, next level, that even when the miseries come, they try to do it from different angles just to see that if I'm not missing any angle. Because I have to do sense gratification, I have to get happiness. We give this example of a person trying to chew the sugarcane, fibers. So after putting sugarcane through the machine multiple times, the fibers remain and there is nothing in the fiber that remains. So fibers are thrown down. But a very, very intelligent materialist, he comes and he says, I want to enjoy. I want to do sense gratification. He picks up those fibers and he puts in his mouth and he's trying to chew. No sweetness. No juice. He says, okay, maybe I'm putting from the wrong side. Okay, put it from the front. Put it from the side. And he keeps doing that. And then he understands, no, there's no happiness in this. But he does not give up searching for happiness. He does not give up his desire for sense gratification. He continues in some other ways. And now some other heroes from behind were watching him. Very, very smart, over smart people, they are thinking, isko pata nahi kaise enjoy karna. The fibers which were thrown by this person, other people come and pick up the same fiber and say, I will teach how to taste the juice. And they start putting from different angles. In this way, in this world, from lifetime after lifetime, from time immemorial, history is the proof that people have been trying to do sense gratification, to enjoy, to be very, very happy. But history is the proof no one in this world got that happiness which they are searching for. They have always been miserable, but still people are stubborn. They want to be happy. They want to do sense gratification. Stubborn. There's so many different examples, that we can give. When the person becomes old and there is no, I'm just giving the highest sense gratification, that is sex desire. So the person becomes old, there is no question of sex. There is, the body will not support. So people want to replace their glands, the sex glands, with the sex glands of monkeys. Just so that even in the old age, they can continue enjoying sex. You see? Now there are so many medicines and this and that. So that the person remains powerful and he continues having sex. They're trying their best. And guess what? Some of the other misery will come in the form of disease, in the form of depression, this and that. But still the person wants to continue doing sense gratification. This is stubbornness of a materialist. They're stubborn. We will do sense gratification. Come what may, we will do sense gratification. Now, when these personalities, they're so stubborn to do sense gratification, they're naturally attached to doing sense gratification. Because now in their life, there's nothing else except sense gratification, the sense objects. They're very, very attached to sense objects. Now, these persons, what hope they have to break the cycle of birth and death? There is no hope. There is no hope. In fact, zero hopes. Because they're so much stuck in this material world. It's almost like a person in the cocoon. He's just stuck. There's no way to come out of it. He's just stuck. And who has built that cocoon? He himself. From all the sides, he has built cocoon. And now, there's no way to go out. The only way that this person can come out of this entire cycle that he's stuck in and make his way back to Godhead is association of the sadhus whom we just described. Only such sadhus association can help the person. Or else there is no way. There is no way. Rishabdev, he is preaching to his sons. And there he says, Mahad Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimuktes Tamo Dwaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. So Mahad Seva or association of Mahad, that will help the person to pave his path back to Godhead. But when it comes to Yoshita Sangi Sangam, when it comes to association with sense objects, sense gratification, Tamo Dwaram, he is making his path to hell. Now, it's very clear there are two paths. You want to break the cycle of birth and death, associate with sadhus. You want to do sense gratification, you want to go to hell, okay, do sense gratification. There are two paths. Now, the only thing the living entity has to do is choose one path. And naturally has chosen the second path of going to hell. It's very natural. Now, this person, if he has to go to Vaikuntha, then he has to associate with sadhus and change his path and go in the other path. But the problem is, he is so unfortunate that he cannot associate with sadhus. Why? Qualities of a Kaliyuga Jiva is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Prayanalpayushya sabhya kalavasman yuge janah manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upadrata. Very, very difficult situation. Very nicely, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives commentary and he says, why a Kaliyuga Jiva is unfortunate? Why he's not able to attain the perfection of life? Prayana alpayuhu, very short-lived. Very, very short-lived. In that also he thinks that he has got long life. And he keeps planning. Years after years after years. After 10 years I'll do this. 40 years I'll do this. Now, there are plans that he takes. And he's so confident that he takes a loan and he pays EMI month after month, thinking I'll be there for next 10 years, I'll complete the EMIs and then this house will be mine. Very nice. Prayana alpayu. Anytime he can die, but he does not realize. Very, very short span. Manda. Now, already life is short. In that, he does not have desire to practice bhakti. Manda. He is a slow learner when it comes to spiritual life. Baki sab fast seekh jayega. How to do sense gratification, how to do nonsense, how to do sinful activities, quick. But when it comes to doing devotional service, rendering devotional service, very manda. To understand Siddhanta, manda, slow. Very nice angle which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives. Manda. Sumanda matayoho, less intelligent. So since he is less intelligent, so what happens is, he does not understand whom to associate with. Now, for sense gratification, he wants to increase his sense gratification, he associates with dongis and he gets cheated. Now, say the person says, no, I have long life, I am interested in spiritual life, I have got the right path. Sumanda matayo manda bhagya. He is so unfortunate that he knows now he has to associate with sadhus, but sadhus are not available. Where will he go and search for the bona fide sadhus because he has been cheated? And then finally the next. Even when he gets association of sadhus and he sits in a Bhagavatam class to hear a Bhagavatam class from a sadhu, Upadrata, he is so disturbed that he is not able to hear the class. He is not able to take association of sadhus. So unfortunate. At times when we do this newcomer sessions, the initial sessions, people come, they sit in the class. And just by looking at the person's face, you can make out that he is lost in the other world altogether. And after that, after the class, you ask them, so, how was the class? Amazing. What did you like in the class? Everything. And in that, sometimes people are so shameless. They say, "Pro, jo joke acha tha aapne jo bola." After the entire class of 1.5 hours, the person is glorifying the joke and not the Siddhanta that is spoken. Why? Because it's very difficult, Baba. It's very difficult to hold the Siddhanta, to allow the Siddhanta to enter the ears if the person is disturbed. And therefore, these materialists who are completely absorbed, attached, who are there in their cocoon, for them to associate with sadhus is very, very difficult, even when they have the physical proximity of a sadhu. Now what to do? This is the situation. The only solution is these sadhus only can help. And what these sadhus will do? These sadhus are the ones who will plant or sow the seed of bhakti. Technically it is called as Bhakti Lata Bij. Prabhupada gives a nice understanding of what is Bhakti Lata Bij in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 19, text 152, purport. Bhakti Lata Bij means the seed of devotional service. Everything has an original cause or seed. For any idea, program, plan or device, there is first of all the contemplation of the plan, and that is called the bija or seed. The methods, rules and regulations by which one is perfectly trained in devotional service constitute the Bhakti Lata Bij or seed of devotional service. This Bhakti Lata Bij is received from the spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. So how is it that these people get delivered? When this Bhakti Lata Bij is planted in their heart. What is Bhakti Lata Bij all about? Bhakti Lata Bij is nothing but the training that the sadhu gives to people in general. What is the training all about? The training is the methods, rules and regulations by which the person can practice bhakti. Bhakti Lata Bij is not some bij that we'll get and then open the heart, sow and close it. It's not that. It's the training that the sadhu gives. And that training of how to practice devotional service is actually the seed that is sown in the heart. And therefore it is described that instruction of one's spiritual master is very, very important. Because those instructions, they are helping us to advance in bhakti. They are the Bhakti Lata Bij for us. And when we keep following that instruction, naturally we'll advance in devotional service. Many times people say, kripa kijiye, hum pe kripa kijiye. Now what kripa? What is the expectation? They just want some ashirwad, keep your hand on my head. Recently one couple had come with the kid. Pro ji, बस एक चीज कीजिए आप, एक चीज. क्या करना है? आपका हाथ हमारे बच्चे पे रख दीजिए, बस इतना ही कीजिए और कुछ नहीं. मतलब they just wanted to say, प्रभु आप कुछ बोलिए मत, केवल हाथ रखिए. So in general, kripa that people want in this world is just some on the gross platform, keep your hand on my head, or etc., or kick with your leg. But the actual kripa that we understand from the scriptures is the instructions given by a sadhu. So when the instructions are given by the sadhu, what happens? Naturally, the other person, if he is humble, if he is able to accept the instruction, and if he follows, he'll advance in bhakti and finally attain the eternal realm of Krishna consciousness. Now look at this entire contrasting situation. The materialist is stuck, he's enjoying, he's paving his path to hell. And he can come out of it only if he gets association of sadhu. The sadhus are the ones who can plant the Bhakti Lata beach, and by this planting of Bhakti Lata beach, the sadhu can make the person qualified to go back home, back to Godhead. But now this person, the materialist, is so unfortunate that he is not able to come in touch with sadhu. He is not able to go to sadhu. He is not able to associate with sadhu even if he is in physical proximity. Such a contrasting situation. What will happen to this materialist then? So materialist is stubborn to do sense gratification, and a sadhu or devotee is stubborn to deliver the materialist. That's the wonderful stubbornness of both. Materialist is stubborn that I will keep doing sense gratification, and sadhu looks at the materialist, acha bacha, I will make sure that you will attain Krishna. In this way, the two stubborn people are there in this match, and who wins is a question. So these pure devotees, they're so persistent, they're so stubborn that this person should become a devotee. They take that materialist as a project and make sure that that person becomes a devotee. And how do they do this? There are various ways in which it is done. In Bhagavad-gita, Krishna is instructing to Arjuna that this divine knowledge should be discussed only amongst devotees. And Prabhupada writes in one of the purport, he says, what Krishna is saying is correct. Therefore, devotees should go and make non-devotees into devotees and then discuss Bhagavad-gita. Make them qualified and then discuss Bhagavad-gita. Stubbornness of devotees. Devotees preach. They try their best. They preach in various ways. And they are very stubborn when they are preaching. They make sure that the other person should become a devotee. When Lakshahira, a prostitute, she came to destroy Haridas Thakur, his reputation, his purity. When she came, at that time, Haridas Thakur, he understood why she has come. He could have just said, get lost from here. But Haridas Thakur, for 3 days and 3 nights, he allowed Lakshahira to sit close to him. And Haridas Thakur was chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra very nicely, very loudly with love and devotion. Haridas Thakur's preaching was, I will satisfy you, sit. Don't go anywhere, sit. And Lakshahira sat. She heard the pure devotee chanting. And finally, at the end of the 3rd night, Lakshahira surrendered to Haridas Thakur. And she said, O Thakur, O Mahashay, I had come to destroy your purity. But I am realizing now that how obnoxious my thought was. Please forgive me. Please give me shelter at your lotus feet. At that time, Haridas Thakur revealed that I was knowing why you have come. I was supposed to leave the same day when you came, but I stayed back for these 3 days just because I wanted to deliver you. Stubborn. Very clear now what he wants to do. Stubborn. When it comes to Nityananda Prabhu delivering Jagai and Madhai, everyone told Nitai, don't go close to Jagai and Madhai. And still Nitai went. And he preached that you should take Krishna's holy names. You should become Krishna's devotee. And what happened after that? The same Balram who killed So many personalities. He was running for his life and Jagai and Madhai running behind Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, somehow they escaped. They went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard that these two were following Nityananda and Haridas to kill them, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I will kill both of them. And Nitai made a statement. He said, Oh Lord, you just give these two people in charity to me. I will take care of them. And when Haridas Thakur was complaining to Advaita Acharya, he is a mad person, Nityananda is a mad person. At that time, Advaita Acharya said, why are you so surprised that he is associating with drunkards? One drunkard will associate with other drunkards. Nitai is drunk completely in the nectar of love of God. Oh Haridas, very soon you will see that those two drunkards will be dancing in the association of all these Vaishnavas here. And Haridas Thakur was very happy. Now it is very nice to see the stubbornness of Nitai. After some time, Nitai was coming from the banks of Ganga and he goes in the same path where Jagai and Madhai are there. And Madhai, he hits Nityananda Prabhu, blood is coming out, and still Nitai is saying, become devotees of Krishna, become devotees of Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes there with his chakra. And at that time, Nityananda Prabhu is saying, oh Lord, please forgive them. Oh, galti se lag gaya. They were not actually trying. But this Jagai, he was actually saving me. And see, by the persistence of Nityananda Prabhu, by the stubbornness of pure devotees, how even these two drunkards, Jagai and Madhai, they got delivered. This is preaching. This is how pure devotees preach. They are ready to take the humble position. Haridas Thakur took a humble position. Nityananda Prabhu took a humble position and they were preaching. And there are other examples where preachers, they preach, but they're not humble. They shake the person very nicely. And that is the way they preach. Example, Narada Muni saw that Nalakuver and Manigriv, they're very much enjoying with all the females. In fact, when Narada Muni came, at that time the females started covering their bodies with the clothes. But Nalakuver and Manigriv, they were nude and were standing in the waters. And in fact, they started thinking, what the sadhu is supposed to do here when we are enjoying? And Narada Muni, understanding their mode, their obnoxious attitude, he decided, I have to sow the Bhakti Lata seed in their heart. And he decided that I'll curse them. And the curse was, you're standing naked, you become naked. You become a tree. And at that time, Nalakuver and Manigriv, they were completely shaken. And then they came back to their senses and they begged forgiveness from Narada Muni. And Narada Muni said that you will be the trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. And Supreme Personality of Godhead will deliver you. Can you see how these preachers, pure devotees, sometimes they take a humble position, sometimes they shake the person in front. Another pure devotee in Bhagavatam, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani, is Vidura. So Vidura, he had nothing to do with the Kauravas and the Pandavas after he left the place. He was very badly insulted by Duryodhana that you are the son of a kept mistress. And Vidura felt very offended. He just left the place. He went for an entire tour of India, various holy places. And then he heard that Pandavas have become the kings, so he came back. Now there was no question of Vidura coming back to enjoy the kingdom, but Vidura wanted to deliver his brother Dhritarashtra. Even before he tried many times, as soon as Duryodhana was born, at that time it is described that there were bad omens in the sky. Meteors were falling. The vultures were screeching. There was huge obnoxious sound that was created by various animals. And at that time Vidura said, don't be attached to this kid. Don't be attached to this son. And then after that also multiple times he said that what you're doing is improper. He preached to him multiple times. It didn't work. Finally now he wanted to try for the last time. And he comes there, and there's wonderful dialogues that Vidura is saying. That you are like a dog, Dhritarashtra. You're staying in the house of the enemy, Bhima, and you're eating what is thrown by Bhima. You shameless fellow. And he goes on and on. Itna gali diya, itna gali diya. Finally, Dhritarashtra decided that he'll leave the house. You know how Dhritarashtra left? Even without telling Sanjaya. Sanjaya was very, very close to Dhritarashtra. He was the constant companion in the life of Dhritarashtra. He didn't tell Sanjaya also. He just left. And next day, Sanjaya is crying that my master has left me, my master has left me. But Dhritarashtra's heart got so much transformed by the beatings of Vidura that he just left. And obviously, the pastime goes on how he attained perfection. You see how Vidura, he shook Dhritarashtra very badly. And Dhritarashtra, he realized after nice chastisement that was given, and then he takes up to the path of devotional service. So here you see sadhus are going to the materialist. Sadhus are going to materialist to deliver them. So either they will remain humble, they will shake the person, they will pray for the person. Now it's very nice. Sadhus, they give instructions, and at the same time they pray. They pray for the person so that he becomes eligible to implement the instructions. It's not easy to accept instructions and practice bhakti following the instructions. Therefore, the prayers of the spiritual master, prayers of pure devotees are very, very important. When they pray for us, what happens is our heart becomes a favorable ground to receive the instruction and follow the instructions. Sadhus give instructions, but how many people follow instructions? Prabhupada has given instructions. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. How many are seriously following, even in our organization? Obviously, many are following, but there are many also who are not following. They still break it. Why? Because that mercy factor is needed. Then with that mercy, determination increases. Therefore, when the pure devotee is offering prayers, that is another way of preaching where he offers prayers. And by the prayers that is offered, the person becomes determined to practice bhakti by following the instructions. And therefore, one thing is very, very important, that when Srila Prabhupada has created this entire organization and so many people have become devotees, one thing we have to understand is, it is by the prayers of Srila Prabhupada only. He has prayed for all of us. He has prayed for all those people who were existing at that time, who were hippies. Prabhupada had prayed for all of them. Oh Lord, help these hippies to become devotees. In fact, Prabhupada writes, as soon as he gets down from Jaladuta, he writes this wonderful song. And there he says that, oh Lord, all these people are in ignorance. They're all under your Maya. Only if you be merciful unto them, they'll be able to understand the message that I have got for them. Very clear. So this is the prayer that a pure devotee offers to the Lord. And when a pure devotee offers a prayer to the Lord, Lord cannot reject the prayer. He has to sanction the prayer. Satyam vidhatum nija bhritya bhashitam. So the pure devotee is speaking something and the Lord has to make it come true. And pure devotee will not think twice. Pure devotee will just say, out of love and affection, compassion. And the Lord has to struggle and he has to make sure that everything materializes properly. In this way, a devotee prays. And by the prayer of devotees, other people become devotees. Therefore, we see that all the personalities, who are there on the platform of pure devotional service, they are so compassionate and they keep praying. And the epitome of all prayers is Prahlad Maharaj's prayers. Prahlad Maharaj is saying that I am ready to suffer on behalf of all the living entities in this world. You deliver them, O Lord, I will suffer on their behalf. Now, this is a very ultimate prayer. Even if we call ourselves to be very, very accomplished preacher or whatever, when we go in front of the Lord and say, Lord is asking, will you suffer on behalf of everyone? No, I want to go back home. I'm already suffering. I don't want to suffer more. But just imagine these pure devotees, how they are ready to accept the sins of their disciples and suffer on their behalf so that the disciples, they pave their path back home, back to Godhead. Just think about the compassionate mood that is there. They are praying to the Lord that, oh Lord, I am ready to suffer on behalf of this particular living entity who I am accepting today on the day of initiation as my disciple. So what the spiritual master does on the day of initiation is, the big hurdles which are there in the life of the disciple, those big hurdles are removed. And that the spiritual master is ready to suffer on behalf of the disciple. You see, this is how a pure devotee prays. Now, it's not that the materialists are going to the pure devotee. The pure devotee is going to the materialist and he is trying to hold. Such a very important thing. Now, another very, very important thing to note, we are talking about materialists coming into devotional service because sadhus are going and pulling them. But you know what? The ones who already become devotees, who are part of Krishna consciousness movement, who are there in this organization, there are times when Maya will trick. कोई बच नहीं सकता, कोई नहीं बच सकता. Maya is so strong, she'll trick every devotee. Some devotees are very strong because they're always under the shelter of other devotees. They are still saved. But those people who are flying in the air independently, Maya catches those flying birds. And when Maya catches, there is great probability that these people will go out of devotional service. Many, many, many examples in ISKCON like that. Many examples. That how Maya is tricked and the person is out of devotional service. So we see pure devotees, they want to hold these people back practicing devotional service. This is another very, very important thing that the pure devotees do. Pure devotees obviously go and help the materialist to become a devotee, but pure devotees also help the practicing devotees to remain practicing devotees and attain perfection. Because if they don't hold, where is the question of going back, come back to God? Bhakti mein aa gaye, lekin bahar bhi to nikal gaye. How will they remain in devotional service? Therefore, you see, again, pure devotees, they use these two weapons. One is instructions, second one is mercy. They use these two weapons to hold the devotee in devotional service and remove the influence of Maya. Now, all these pure devotees are doing, but what about us as sadhakas? Even we sadhakas, we have to follow in the footsteps of these pure devotees. Now, whatever I was preaching was not about ourselves. We have no compassion. Tell me, who has compassion? Who has compassion? Why he has compassion? Okay, he's non-envious. It is described that the love of Godhead, when it manifests in the heart completely, that is exhibited in the form of compassion in this world. So Krishna Prem, when it manifests in the heart, that is exhibited as compassion, karuna, in general for people. You see, such a big thing. Now, do we have Krishna Prem? We don't have. So when we are preaching, is it out of compassion? It is full of passion. It is no compassion, it's full of passion when we are preaching. So the question comes then, how are we able to preach? Because the only reason is we want to follow in the footsteps of these pure devotees. And therefore, following the footsteps of these pure devotees and to please these pure devotees, they have instructed us that the best way to purify oneself is to preach. And therefore, we see devotees, sadhakas, practicing devotees, they try their best to go out and preach. What are they trying to do? Just give the message of this parampara, the pure devotees, to common public. They act as the messengers in between. Therefore, hook or crook, devotees try their best to pull the person in devotional service. When it comes to distributing pass, distributing books, devotees try their best n number of ways. Even when the sadhakas are tired, still they'll make sure that they will approach a person and pull the person into the realm of devotional service. Be it book distribution, where the person has to stand on the road on a sunny day, or be it pass distribution on the Nirjala fasting of Janmashtami, still devotees want to do that. Therefore, for us as sadhakas, we have to observe all what these pure devotees are doing, because they are doing what will please Krishna. Now, it is Krishna who wants all these living entities to go back home, back to Godhead. And these pure devotees are assisting Krishna to help the living entities go back home, back to Godhead, because they are very clear Krishna will be pleased by this act. And whatever these pure devotees are doing, we have to just follow. That's it. Because they are doing those actions, those activities which will please Krishna. And if we try to follow in their footsteps, doing those activities which they are doing, that will please Krishna. Therefore, for us in ISKCON, in Krishna consciousness, it's very, very important for us to do these two things. One, help as many materialists as possible to come into the realm of devotional service. We have to use whatever talent, skills, and whatever innovations we have to help the people to come into the realm of devotional service. And second, very, very important service that we have is we have to be in devotional service and we have to hold others in devotional service. For that, we have to create a very wonderful atmosphere of bhakti, where as soon as a person comes, he feels nourished. So in this way, we have these two services as sadhakas. Pull the person into the realm of bhakti using all innovations possible, all the trick possible that is allowed. And second, create a setup where these persons, when they come to Krishna consciousness, they should feel nourished in Krishna consciousness. And for that, we have to be nourished in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, these materialists are not going to come to sadhus. The sadhus or the aspiring sadhus, they have to go to the materialists and pull them. And the ones who are already there in bhakti and who want to go out to become a materialist, we have to hold them. So only two things we have to do. Pull and hold. That's it. That is what is a service that is given to us. And by doing this, we will get purified and we will also attain perfection of human form. And you know what? The actual preaching will begin at that time, when we attain Krishna Prem. Because then the compassion that flows from the heart will surely attract the mercy of the Lord, and the other person has to become a devotee because you are feeling for that person. You see. Therefore, we have to attain Krishna Prem and continue preaching. That is what is the goal that we all should have, because that will please Krishna. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.